Sandman, nuclear generation. Nuclear, can you hear creation groan? Big academies move wherever Satan roams, with powers and principalities, ancient bones. But generations have been saved since the Savior rose. Past, present and future, the Creator knows. When Yeshua the Messiah will come with fatal blows in the sea of life, wearing naval clothes, with other sailors in a hurricane, praying he will save our souls. Gale Force 9, I'm feeling naked and cold, but I believe in what the sacred has shown. Take me home. Whale corpses line the beaches and creatures are all dying for no reason. Evil's taken a hold. People are raving, misbehaving, crystal gazing, pistol waving. Misfits that need saving. The earth shakes, earthquakes and tsunamis. Paranoia grips the nation. Use the army, emergency procedures. Please move calmly. Fallen angels playing with harpy Illuminati. I'll terrorize the track, worse than a Somalian. Searching for gold bars, working with Mugabe. I'll memorize each word and verse like a Nawabian before I crack finals for the final finale. A child of rap, I'll be back just like Arnie, setting fire to wax on the back of a fat Harley, with flames coming out the sports exhaust. And I'm forced to report to you all, we blew up the party.
From the cracks, form tracks on the earth and its crust. Trumpet blast, bring the last days. Who do you trust? Feel the birth pains much? The adrenaline rush, signaling signs of the horsemen scattering dust. The hush before the storm when it all combusts. A nuclear generation lies are crushed, following signs of the times, connecting the dots, watching the clocks in the hourglass, stomach and knots. So many lost in confusion, casting a lot. Go on appear apocalyptic or leave you in shock. But counterfeits and delusions are taking the spot of the truth. These illusions have gotta be stopped. You might get lost in the dark. These are stumbling blocks, concocted double talk. That's why we're solid as rocks.
From the mountains of Babylon, behold the vagabond, riding with a saddle on the black horse. Scriptures upon the cannon on, trampling on Lucifer's coats and black magic. Be savage with it, nomadic and drastic, an asterisk by my name. A splinter of shame to the Lord Jesus, barely breathing a sinner of flesh, son of a heathen, believing in nothing but death. In the coldness of a last breath, hiding all the pain in my chest until I last rest. Standing breast to breast with it, loving the sin that's next to it. Affectionate, infecting your whole section, kid. Generate a low life worth nothing, a pauper with nothing to offer. The blood of Christ drips on the altar, softening the ground of the earth, predicted since the birth, and breaking the curse. The whole world's feeling the hurt. The time is coming when the cowards start running and the rebel army starts gunning. It's all or nothing, the Lord is coming.
Jesus said, you didn't get this from a teacher. Flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father which is in heaven.
That's right. That's right. Flesh and blood did not reveal this, but my Father which is in heaven. Hi guys. Whew, I ate a big dinner, so like really full, but I was hungry, so I guess that's a good thing to eat a big dinner when you're hungry. However, I'm kind of wishing I'd eat maybe just a little bit less than I did. Okay, first and foremost, you guys, I don't want anyone to leave because I need you to know that this is important stuff too. I've got a raffle that I've got to draw. And this doesn't take very long, so if you're like, oh, Aaron or gold and silver, which I don't know why you would be, but you might be, you gotta, you gotta know that this is important stuff. So I've got these 10 spots going. Now, Nocturnal Gamer asked me for this spot, but has not paid yet. So if Nocturnal Gamer does win, I will need that payment before I will be delivering anything. So just to let you guys know, if Nocturnal Gamer is unable to or decides it doesn't want the spot, that's okay. We will do a redraw of 9, but no big deal. So I wanted you guys to know this is a half ounce and a half ounce and 2 5-gram bars, in case anybody was thinking this was 2.5 ounces. Hi Sharon, thanks for being here, and Allison if you're still here, and Rockman and Doc, and I don't know who else is here. Because unless you're in the chat, I don't know. I gotta change this. Okay, so half ounce, half ounce. This is a Buffalo, this is a Walking Liberty, and these are 2 5-gram bars. So here we go. It's going to be, out of those 10 spots, drum roll. Yeah, who's gonna win? It's gonna be anyone I know, probably, because I know all these people. We're waiting for a generated result. Woo! It's not showing me. Well, that's awkward. I've never seen it do that. What are we doing here? I'm in the green. Checking your browser. Okay. Never mind then. That didn't generate a single result. Let's try again. Number 6! That is the only result I received, so whatever I tried to do the first time did not work. Number 6 is Justin! Woo! Justin! Way to go, buddy! You won! Stacks are getting huge, man. Hi, Rosie! Rosie, your picture looked a lot like Allison to me for some reason, but I scrolled up and it's not the same at all, so what am I thinking? Well, there we go. We're done with that. You don't care about my Facebook, but I know you guys want to hear this video. This is going to be something you just want to know about. Here we go. Oh, that's not going to work. I got to fix this. I'm going to stall for time and talk to you guys. So anyway, today I did a lot of work doing some, what do you call it? Landscaping. Sound. I was doing landscaping and I burned. Got a burn on my back. But don't worry. It's okay. I'm okay. What? Gosh, this thing messes with me. Everything's okay as far as the burn goes. Let's see if this works now to our liking the way you would want to hear it.
In the United States is that
There we go.
one of the problems we face in the United States is that, unfortunately, there is a combination of an anti-science bias that people are, for reasons that sometimes are, inconceivable and not understandable, they just don't believe science and they don't believe authority. So when they see someone up in the White House, which has an air of authority to it, who's talking about science, that there are some people who just don't believe it. And that's unfortunate because, science is truth.
Oh, Fauci. I don't know if that's something I agree with. Now, I can't put it nearly as well as my friends, which they're not my friends, but I wish they were. They don't know who I am. They don't even know I exist. But I wish that Gonstremer and Basil, whatever his last name is, from Cary Cry Radio, just knew how well I appreciated the way they talked. Oh yeah, you just wait and see. But I wish I could be as good at talking about this as Gons and Basil, but they basically describe this as, you can't say science is truth because that science is changing on a daily basis. One day something's good for us, the next day it's bad for us, and then the next day it's good for us again, but in a different way than we thought. And so it's I think that Rockman said blasphemous. Not sure if that's the right word or not, but I guess it would be, because really it's blaspheming what Jesus said, and that he's the way and the truth and the life. But to say science is truth, we don't even know everything. We don't even know how to create another human being as well as God can create us. And we don't know how to do a lot of these things. In fact, when humans try to do it, it's like a hijacking of the system, and it never turns out very well, and it usually turns out bad, kind of like Pet Cemetery. Usually you get like a Pet Cemetery type of situation. So, I'm not a fan of him to begin with, but this is what's out there being spoken as truth, is science. So that's Fauci for you. He says science is truth. Then, then science is not science. Science is possibilities and plausibilities and determining, just with as much data as you can possibly gather of proof and evidence, what is the truth that, as far as we know, but we don't know everything, and it's a constant gathering and learning for our whole lifetimes that we'll never know until we are dead. But somebody was kind of excited, Cern-Fertility-Tracking-App, so let's get to that. From CERN to app-based fertility and COVID-19 tracking. Particle physicist Elena Berglund combined a scientist's approach with tech to revolutionize birth control and pandemic tracking. It's fair to say that tech entrepreneur and scientist Dr. Elena Berglund is part of the most groundbreaking discoveries in recent decades. The ex-particle physicist was working at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, during the discovery of the Higgs boson God particle, for which its lead researchers won a Nobel Prize. I bet he is a Jesuit. Its discovery came decades after it was first theorized, confirmation of a crucial building block in the understanding of particle physics. In practical, the research involved firing particles together at almost light speed and analyzing the results. To the average person, even a loose association to such a discovery would provide a lifetime's worth of professional glory, but Berglund's ambitions continued closer to home. After she and husband Raoul Schwarwitzel made plans to start a family, she began researching hormone-free alternatives to contraception to give her body a break. And it was here that the scientists noticed that another gap in collective scientific understanding, that of women's reproductive health. She found studies which showed a correlation between fertility and body temperature and began with her body as a test subject. Mapping and analyzing this data would require some of the skills she had applied to her research in groundbreaking physics. With my knowledge from particle physics, a lot of base analysis, statistics, and math, she's got math and statistics in there, I could create an algorithm which makes this method fail-safe and easy to use. She recounted to Business Cloud of her breakthrough. Her husband, an aspiring entrepreneur, also with a history in particle physics, suggested that the resulting algorithm might be best served as an app, of course. The app relies on, the pair co-founded Natural Cycles in 2013 to do just that and have now shared this technique to 1.5 million registered users across 162 countries. The app relies on a user taking their temperature from the mouth at the start of every day and combines this with existing data on sperm survival, temperature fluctuations, and variations in cycle length, algorithm that identifies if the user is fertile or not. Interestingly enough, guys, the red day signifies that the user is fertile. And that's so interesting because I guess that's a no bad, don't have sex thing, because God forbid that you're going to have. So red signifies fertility. Green signifies not fertile. And therefore, you don't need to use protection. You've got the green light to have a lot of sex with infertility, but don't do it if you have a red day. The algorithm learns from each data point how their temperature curve and cycle works. That's why users get more red days in the first cycles and more green days as they input more data. In short, the temperature increases when a woman ovulates, and that's what we get. Berglund said the firm is the only app of its kind to receive a certification in Europe, the US, and its own studies have proven it between 93 and 98% effective. In comparison, condoms are 87 to 98% effective, and the pill is 93 to 99% effective. So it sounds like these other alternatives are actually better or the same, but hormones, so you wouldn't want to do that. The data collected by its users also forms a valuable set for study at the macro level. The firm has published 7 clinical studies in peer-reviewed journals and has many more coming. But since it was first announced, the app-based method of contraception has received both praise and skepticism, which is understandable. It's a sensitive area and investigate. Okay, let's move on to where they're going to get into. Let's move on to the way they're going to use it for COVID. Okay. The firm is now 60 strong with its biggest offices in Stockholm, a second office in New York, and located blah, blah, blah. With the international viewpoint of company working across countries, Berglund said New York and Stockholm are great cities for startups and tech, but Sweden's, okay, blah, blah, blah. She said the app, with its wealth of health data, create a symptom tracker, which it released in March. Oh, here we go. Right, let's start back here. The distributed workforce has also made weathering the storm of coronavirus easier and given it time to look inward for ways to help with the pandemic. They were in the perfect position to create symptom tracker, which they did in March. Its users already taking their temperature could be tracked for potential COVID-19 related fever, and this data could be shared with a healthcare professional. You guys, why are they basing everything on your temperature? Because you can get a fever from many other things, even a bad cold. This is what drives me crazy, is they're taking everybody's stinking temperature for this. This is how they're deciding whether you need to see a healthcare professional, is if you might have a temperature. Anyway, the data could also be used en masse to help in tracking the potential spread. The app is also being used to track a negative or positive COVID-19 test. The firm's research team may then be able to study the data in anonymized form to better understand the spread and the effects of the virus in different parts of the world. The trackers, which are optional, allegedly, and must be enabled by users, will join existing functionality. The optional natural cycles trackers allow users to track their own symptoms in real time and share them with their healthcare provider. They will also be able to track a negative or positive COVID-19 test. Natural Cycles research team may then be able to study the data in anonymized form to better understand the spread of the effects of the virus in different parts of the world. Here's my concern is if you're going to use, if anyone I know is going to use the tracker, then they could possibly be tracking me in some way because of it. Especially if they decide they think I have a temperature all of a sudden. And is this how they're going to be reporting everybody? She looks like she has a temperature. Somebody take her temperature. I don't know. They will also be able to track it negative. I already said that. In March, the company donated hundreds of thermometers and subscriptions to healthcare workers on the front line of the coronavirus efforts for monitoring purposes. Berglund said that as founders with a background in research, analyzing this data was part of the company's DNA. Future plans include the study of potential tracking of. Berglund said that the company hopes to provide more insights into women's health, such that every woman can get insights into what's going on in their body. So great. This is something that's already in the works, that they're now going to track your temperature to track you. And so far, it's something that you have to want to do. So there's that. But if you didn't already know that there was billionaires making more money because of COVID-19, I'm here to tell you they are. Billionaires get $583 billion richer since the coronavirus began. As millions of Americans continue to file for unemployment benefits during the coronavirus pandemic, American billionaires saw their wealth increase by $583 billion. This is kind of the problem that we have here. A new report from Americans for Tax Fairness and the Institute for Policy Studies program on inequality says billionaire wealth has grown 20% between 17th. Am I still going? Okay, looks like I'm still going. The two groups' analysis of Forbes data shows that the total net worth of U.S. billionaires increased from $2.948 trillion to $3.531 trillion in 3-month time frame. So in 3 months, they've increased their wealth significantly. Since the national shutdown, which began in mid-March, the U.S. has added 29 billionaires, now totaling 643 across the country. At a growing list, 12 billionaires more than doubled their wealth over the past 3 months. One of them, Trevor Milton, the founder of truck manufacturer Nikola Motor, increased his wealth 5-fold. So the dude is already a billionaire, and now he's increased his wealth 5-fold. Interesting. In 3 months, about 600 billionaires increased their wealth by far more than the nation's governors say their states need in fiscal assistance to keep delivering services to 330 million residents. Their wealth increased twice as much as the federal government paid out in one-time checks to more than 150 million. If this pandemic reveals anything, it's how unequal our society has become and how drastically it must change. The nation's top 5 billionaires, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, and Larry Ellison, saw their wealth grow by a total of $101.7 billion, or 17.4% of the total wealth growth of all 143 billionaires. The combined fortunes of Bezos and Zuckerberg account for 13% of that. The question here is, why would Bill Gates be banking so much on this? Now, we already know, but come on, why would he be banking so much money during a pandemic? If that should make everybody who thinks that he should help with vaccines really question him. He's making all this money off of it. He doesn't care what these vaccines do to anybody. Bezos' Amazon has benefited from the pandemic more than any other retailer, with an increased demand for e-commerce as in-person retail stores were shuttered in compliance with statewide lockdown measures. Bezos' wealth growth in dollars is greater than for any other billionaire. Anyway, this kind of goes on. Because of their economic fallout of the global health crisis, 45.5 million Americans have lost their jobs, as confirmed cases of the virus have surpassed 2 million in the U.S. Both the health and economic effects have disproportionately affected low-wage workers, people of color, and women. I can't talk right now. Can you? Okay, thanks. Surging billionaire wealth contrasted with job losses and declining middle-class wealth dramatizes the unequal experience of this pandemic, says Chuck Collins, obviously. Worse, it undermines the unity required for an economy that works for everyone. The last thing the U.S. society needs is more economic and racial polarization. The surge in billionaire wealth and pandemic profiteering undermines the unity and solidarity that the American people will require to recover and grow together, not further apart. Of course, they don't want us to come together. Congress needs to act, he says, but what's Congress really going to do for us? They're too busy continually cheering on things like the Noahide laws that have been passed in 1991. So anyway, that's pretty ridiculous, and it's very frustrating to me and very annoying to me, but I guess we knew. It's just seeing it written in an article and not really being talked about is the saddest part about that, and it's too bad. But anyway, I know that you guys wanted to know about the African uh, crypto city. So Akon's $6 billion construction contract. A U.S. engineering firm awarded singer and entrepreneur Akon with a $6 billion contract to build a crypto city in Senegal. Are we still good? Are we in the green? Is anyone there? Okay, looks like we're still good. According to a June 4th announcement, KE International secured $4 billion from investors for the two construction. This is a singer now. I don't know how he has any knowledge of smart cities, but that's what he's doing, is building a smart city in Senegal. Akon first announced plans to build the city in January. The firm has now confirmed the deal and added more details to the project. It is a crypto-driven city. This must be like they must be trying this out on these people, I think. The first phase of Akon's city development is expected to be completed by the end of 2023. By the end of this phase, the complex will include a mall, residences, hotel. Are you sure you want that now in this day and age? A school, a waste facility, a solar power plant, and a hospital campus. The second phase is expected to be completed in 2029 and is expected to deliver a complete city entirely running on the Acoin cryptocurrency. As Cointelegraph reported, sounds like Cointel. As Cointelegraph reported in mid-March, Acoin is a cryptocurrency designed for Africa. KE International is also managing the construction of the $2 billion Mwale Medical and Technology Center in Western Kenya. The project started in 2014 and is expected to be completed at the end of the year. The complex is already 85% complete and includes a 5,000-bed hospital, which opened to the public last year. Interestingly, the hospital also partnered with Akon to leverage its Acoin cryptocurrency for transactions. So somehow the singer has gotten to such a place in life where he gets to create a smart city with his own cryptocurrency use. Really interesting why I guess he's picking Africa because he probably is trying to say his African brothers and sisters deserve the best sooner than any. Kind of like a, what was that movie? Was a Black Panther style city situation where they get all the best and then newest first and outdo all of us, and there's money to put in to try to keep the African nation from thriving. However, I'm not sure that means that they will do better technologically because of anything like this, but it's very curious. And if you remember or didn't know, Marcus Garvey had his Back to Africa movement, which was very much stomped down, and Marcus Garvey was basically put in jail for no good reason and was penniless and unable to get that movement to come alive again. But he was trying to move his African people back to Africa, to where he said if the jewels and the rubies are good enough for the Rockefellers, they're good enough for us. And he was trying to go back and utilize his nation. Oh yeah, Wakanda. He was trying to utilize his nation for his people, where it had been taken over and being utilized not by his people, and they were living basically as Bushmen in Africa. And that was stomped down and ended. So that's very curious that Akon is being awarded this money, and I wonder where it will lead to for the African nations. Not sure, as we know that there are a lot of them in South Africa are killing white people, so that might not be good for us, but it never does end good for us because we've read Revelations and we know how it ends. So there you have it, guys. The other thing I wanted to mention, if you didn't know, Public Law 102-14 was passed in 1991 by George Bush Sr., and I just want you guys to know that that includes the Noahide laws. So if you're interested in learning more about the Noahide laws and what they're, that'd be a good idea, because it certainly seems like those are getting pushed into effect more and more. And if you wonder why they had all the guillotines, well, it's because one of the great things about the Noahide executions is decapitations. So maybe Donald Trump is just storing them away somewhere until it's time to, who knows exactly. I know a lot of people still want to support and love him, and I understand that, but we have to keep an eye on all possible situations. But anyway, I appreciate that 5 of you joined me this evening, and I know that it is a Saturday night and people are busy listening to things like Red Pill 78 or out actually doing stuff with their lives. So thank you for listening in and being a part of my little article sharing moment. I used to do this a lot more, and maybe I'll try to do it again more frequently if we can get more people live. But I guess I better start pushing that PR, getting you guys to know I'm coming live, and letting you know so you can tell your friends, and we can get more of a conversation going on in the chat and make it a little bit more lively, a little bit more interactive. I think that'd be fun. Maybe you guys, anyone can think of some ideas for PR work in that aspect, and getting people who want to be active in the chat and having a good flowing conversation. I think it'd be more fun and interesting to be interactive when we're looking at some of this newsworthy stuff. So peace and love of the Lord, guys. Have a great Saturday night, and I guess I'll see you soon. Guess my music doesn't want to play. I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway, love you guys. Peace.